The bridge that exposed everything. I never imagined that standing up to my HOA over a footbridge to my sister's island would expose a multi-million-dollar corruption ring involving developers, politicians, and the very neighbors I once waved to every morning. All I wanted was to visit my cancer-stricken sister without a 45-minute detour. What I got was FBI raids, secret recordings, and the unraveling of an entire criminal enterprise. It began on a warm Tuesday afternoon. I was tending to my garden when a bright yellow envelope caught my eye, fluttering on the mailbox like a warning flag. I tore it open. Unauthorized structure must be removed within 30 days, it read. My knees weakened. They were talking about the wooden bridge I built last summer. A simple walkway connecting my backyard to my sister Tessa's island home across the narrow strip of Lake Windermere. The bridge had cut my travel from 45 minutes by road to just a few minutes on foot. With Tessa's stage 3 breast cancer worsening, the bridge became a lifeline for delivering groceries, meds, and emotional support. Furious and anxious, I dialed the HOA office. No answer. Of course not. Beverly Clark, the HOA president, never answered unless it suited her. I'd have to confront her at the board meeting the next evening. Sleep evaded me that night. My mind cycled through every worst-case scenario. Without that bridge, what would happen in an emergency? I couldn't risk it. I arrived at the community center early, but whispers already buzzed through the room. Beverly sat in the center of the board table, her silver hair immaculately styled, reading glasses perched at the tip of her nose. Next item, she droned. Unapproved structures. I stood. I'd like to discuss the notice about the bridge. Her eyes scanned her papers. Rebecca Dawson, 117 Brookside Lane. Yes, we've documented the unauthorized bridge. It violates multiple covenants. But it's on my property, I said, my voice shaking. And it connects to my sister's land, which isn't even in the HOA jurisdiction. The shoreline is within our visual easement, Beverly replied coldly. You didn't submit proper plans. Tessa has cancer, I pleaded. That bridge is how I care for her. Personal issues don't exempt anyone, Beverly snapped. The board's decision is final. From the audience, Brandon Moore smirked. He'd moved in next door 6 months ago and complained nonstop. My wind chimes, my bird feeder, and now apparently the bridge. Yet somehow his oversized RV parked illegally in his driveway had never earned a citation. I'll appeal, I said, my voice firmer. You're welcome to try, Beverly replied, feigning a smile. But removal begins next week. After the meeting, a neighbor, Lily Nguyen, tapped my arm. This happened to me too, she whispered. They made me take down my kid's swing set. Said it was too visible. How do they get away with this? I asked. Beverly's husband golfs with the county commissioner, and half the board works for Crestview Development. They control everything. On my walk home, I spotted Brandon on his deck, photographing my yard with a telephoto lens. He smirked and waved when I caught him. Later, I called Tessa. The HOA is demanding I take the bridge down. What? But you checked with the county, right? I did. They said no permit was needed, but the HOA is using their own rules. That bridge is the only thing making this manageable. I'll fight, I promised. In the meantime, I'll kayak over with groceries. That's not safe, Tessa whispered. Maybe I should just move? No. The island has been in our family for generations. We won't let them push us out. I spent the next few days poring over HOA bylaws and property maps. After hours, I found a loophole. The HOA only governed structures visible from community property. If I could prove the bridge wasn't visible from any shared space, they had no case. I took photos from every angle, from a main road, the dock, even from boats. The bridge was hidden by trees and barely noticeable. Just as I finished, my phone rang. MS. Dawson, this is Lucas Green from Crestview Development. I understand you're having issues with your property. We might have a solution. How did you get my number? Small town, he chuckled. We're interested in buying your parcel. Enough to make this HOA issue disappear. I'm not selling. Think about it. We'd offer above market. You and your sister could relocate. I hung up. That night, I researched Crestview. They had a history of converting waterfront homes into resorts. Their latest project had stalled due to a landowner refusing to sell. The next day, a crew arrived at my property. The foreman handed me a notice. "We're here to remove the unauthorized structure." "You can't." I filed an appeal. Orders come from the HOA president. "This is private land," I said, stepping onto the bridge. "You don't have permission." He made a call, then said, "We'll return tomorrow," with the sheriff if needed. Panic rising, I drove to the county records office. The clerk frowned. "There's a pending petition to redraw shoreline boundaries filed by Crestview Development." My blood ran cold. The new boundaries would place shoreline structures under county zoning, which meant new permits approved by Commissioner Davis, Beverly's golfing buddy. Driving home, everything clicked. Sophia texted, "Come to my place. Someone wants to meet you." There, I met 4 neighbors who'd also been targeted. Marcus Taylor, forced to tear down his dock. Mrs. Jenkins fined for her roses. The Patels denied a sunroom, while Beverly built a similar one. James Wilcox, a former HOA treasurer, had resigned after discovering fraudulent payments. "I tried reporting it," he said. "My house was broken into. Financial records tossed, but nothing taken. It was a warning." "So what do we do?" Mrs. Jenkins asked. "We fight back," I said. "Together." That night, headlights followed me home. A black SUV with Crestview's logo passed slowly. Brandon watched from his driveway, phone in hand. A text pinged. "Selling is easier than fighting." At dawn, I snuck out to film the bridge. I documented every detail, from Dad's hand-carved railings to flood-proof supports. Suddenly, a twig snapped. I turned, flashlight swinging. A shadow disappeared into the trees. Police arrived, but the officer shrugged. "Probably animals." By sunrise, trucks from Lakeside Construction lined my driveway. Beverly stepped out. "MS. Dawson, have you reconsidered?" I filed an appeal. The emergency board meeting last night denied it. At night? On a bulletin board? That's not proper notification. Rules are rules. "I have a court order," I lied. "Any attempt to remove the bridge before the hearing will be contempt." The crew hesitated. "Maybe we should wait." "You have until Monday," Beverly snapped. Later, James Wilcox met me at a coffee shop. He showed me forged documents, fake assessments, and maps of Tessa's Island. "They need your properties for a resort. Without them, their plan collapses." Tessa confirmed. Crestview kept increasing their offers. One caller even mentioned her medical bills. We agreed to go public. The local news loved it. David versus Goliath, complete with his sister battling cancer. That night, I returned home to find my bridge destroyed. 3 figures had come during the storm. One was definitely Brandon. The others? Unclear. I called 911. Officer Jenkins arrived again. "They had a signed notice from you." "That's forged." The next morning, I received another visit. 2 men in suits. "FBI, you've been documenting exactly what we need," Agent Reyes said. "Karen tipped them off, so we need to act now." Tessa wasn't answering her phone. Agents raced to her island. I followed in my kayak. Her lights were on. 2 black SUVs were parked outside. I crept to the back. Through the window, I saw Brandon and a suited man pressuring Tessa to sign documents. I smashed through the window. "I'm right here," I said, "and I know what this is really about. Ifabei leagues, flusha moments latte." Everyone froze. Karen Mitchell was arrested the next day. Crestview execs were indicted. Even Commissioner Davis fell. At the final HOA meeting, I confronted Karen. "This was never about a bridge," I said. "It was about isolating vulnerable people for profit." The crowd erupted as Sophia and Marcus handed out documents. Fake environmental reports, altered financials, property seizures. Karen snapped. "You ungrateful people. That resort would have helped property values. By forcing out my dying sister?" I asked. Senator James Collins walked in, flanked by FBI. "I never approved this," he said, distancing himself from the fallout. Karen and several board members received prison time. Crestview's project was canceled. Tessa's Island was placed in a conservation trust. 6 months later, We cut the ribbon on a new bridge, funded by restitution. This bridge isn't just for me and Rebecca, Tessa said. It's for every neighbor who stood with us. And as I watched kids play by the lake, I realized something. The bridge they destroyed to break us became the very thing that united us, a connection that no developer could ever tear down.